these new technologies are blessings. They're not going to take up my career or anybody else's career. Yes, when I think in terms of the current structures, it is obvious because in the current structures, technology has taken up most of the space. But whenever new technology comes, new infrastructure is developed. And if we just look beyond the current infrastructure, current landscape, we find a lot of opportunities for all of us. And it happens in all evolutionary process. There is always a need, but we have to learn how to live or enable ourselves to use these technologies. Thank you very much, my friends. Any question if you have? I'm not comfortable in technology and talking on psychology. Psychologists start sitting here. So whenever any term relating to leadership comes, I'm very comfortable. Now, I think we should. Yeah. No, my friends, next speaker, Dr. Reshma.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Azim, for such a informative session. I have something to share with. Since we invested a lot of time in the morning, again, solving the debate between the academia and the industry, but however, it was more important. So we are running almost an hour late. So my humble request to all the presenters, I am the first one who is taking the initiative. I am backtracking from the presentation. I will just talk maybe 2-3 minutes for mine. I request all of the presenters to invest maybe 5 minutes so that we are in time and every one of us can share their thoughts. Later on, obviously, we have a session tomorrow online. If someone would really is more interested in a detailed discussion, we can have a track there. But today, it's my humble request to please confine yourself to 5 minutes. Thanks a lot. I hope you understand my concern. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Reshma, please.
Dr. Reshma.
Oh, yes, this is.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Wasim, I hope the presentation is there.
Yes, Dr. Miraj.
Yeah, this one.
Good evening, everyone. I think 5 minutes is less. So here I'm excited to share you with our research. So we are doing a collaborative research on transformative approach to, professional development. Here, basically the topic is on leveraging AI-driven walkthrough for teacher empowerment and student success. I think many of you would be similar what exactly is a walkthrough. So this is not just a tech initiative, actually. It is a call for sustainable and evidence-based educational transformation. And then moving, if I'm talking about the problem here, so let me acknowledge what exactly is a challenge. So many of us are not aware. So the traditional walkthroughs, like how it happens in daily scenario, especially in the school, okay? So how the SLT, MLT member will literally pop into any of the classroom to have an observation on the teachers, and they have their own way of, based on the parameters, they would literally try to judge the teachers accordingly. So based on that, so this is one of the challenges what I have identified with regard to the new teachers, because they are not able to understand what exactly, how they have to change accordingly when they are planning the lesson plan, or how they have to, drastically change many of the scenarios, like based on the parameters. So this is one of the biggest challenges that we tend to see. And in the next slide, if I talk about the challenges here, so many new educators, obviously, they continue to struggle because obviously they are new to the environment and they don't know. Every school is different. Every school has different, curriculum as such. So they are, it is not said that they lack potential. The new teachers I'm talking about, they are better, obviously, but because they lack a real-time feedback, a consistent mentorship, and purposeful, observation. So that is what they really require. And in the child, I mean, another important issue, what I really find out here is that even if experienced teachers are to be, seen in that scenario, because they are well prepared, they know, because they are working there since some time, so they know the environment of the school, so they are ready. So it is not that we have to overlook the new teachers. So that's how, um, this brings us to one of the key insights. If I'm talking about the walkthroughs, must not be like more I mean, always it is stated that they should be like beyond the compliance, but they need to be, more strategic, data informed, and obviously they otherwise said as coaching tools. And also I could say, it's more about self development application. So I'll just need, all of you to walk through this particular slides today. And here in the first instance, if I'm talking about the conceptual framework because of the time issue. So let me introduce, because this is one of the, gaps that I have identified. And here I'm actually, proposing a framework, an application, the product overview, especially, when the teachers, I mean, literally when they go for an observation, when the SLT members, literally take all the, I mean, including the parameters, they just try to judge, and the feedback is given. But what the framework exactly right now, we are going to, move ahead with the traditional walkthrough. So here the question is, how do we redesign the process to truly support our teachers? Very important, because the entire, even Ministry of Education, KHD, all of them, they depend on, the inspection. So literally every teacher goes through a lot of stress and all that stuff. So based on that, this product is being designed. So here I have, we have gone ahead and literally, there are few parameters. If you could see that the computer vision, natural language, machine, all these, section, selection, whatever application flow is being done, it is based on around 10 parameters, how, the teachers are being, observed and judged. So first of all, I would like to, talk about, I'm not getting into the details here. So let me go with the product overview here. So first, having identified, basically, so if I'm talking about the visual observation here, so this is nothing but, what happens, this is more about the real-time camera. Okay, how, I mean, it literally captures the entire scenario where the teachers would be, talking to the students, is higher order thinking questions are being put up, or the child is not able to understand, but the child is reflecting back. All that stuff would be like, it is done basically with the app called YOLO and Open Pose. Okay, and then it literally tries to detect key indicators of engagement, like in the sense student attention, participation, and movement patterns. So here, these are the things very important, because in a class of 30, all students are not, quiet. So based on that, the app is able to, reflect back. So this is, again, I could say that it is, even if you're not there, even if some of the SLT or MLT member is not present there, it's fine. The app can detect everything. And then teacher voice and communication, NLP and speech. So this particular app is nothing but, here what we, we try to integrate Whisper AI for speech transcription and BERT for analyzing the clarity and tone of teacher instruction. Again, very important, because unless the teacher, is not following the certain pedagogy or the strategies, then it is not possible, the outcome is not possible. So it is one of the best detectors. Okay, well, whatever the teacher is trying to tell, is it able to, the child is able to follow. So in the sense, this particular NLP and speech would be, ensuring that the constructive feedback is being, properly rooted, and then what is taught, how it is communicated, is actually reflected again via this app. And then lesson evaluation, very important, because it has its own parameters here. So it's nothing but, I tried to integrate with decision trees, and even I consulted one of my IT colleagues in my college, and she was also talking about this, how it is specialized with structured criteria here. Very important. So here, algorithm scores and lesson, in the sense, more about like lesson biased or clarity, structure, and objectives. So all these, important scenarios will be taken into consideration, and then literally based on the parameters, providing the teachers with personalized improvement, suggestions. So where she went wrong, what she has to, do next, all that stuff. So decision tree is again another important app that we try to, incorporate here. And then another important aspect, what I actually thought of doing it, so every teacher would be, access to the dashboard. So this is again another important thing. So the dashboard where the teacher, literally she can, view everything, and especially the class analytics, and there is an option of download AI powered feedback reports, and she can literally receive the suggestions as well as, the planning, all that stuff. So again, it is backed up. Another important thing is that it is otherwise, backed up with back and front model. So here I have also, tried to incorporate the backend like Python framework, fast API with data stored. And another important thing that I want to suggest here, there's also an option of MySQL. So this is another important, way of storing data that is not permanent, in the sense short data would be stored. And for example, if 10 observations are being done in a week, then most probably if the SLT member really wants to keep it back, she can have it. Otherwise, it is being removed. In the sense, it is not completely removed, but rather it is, stored offline. So this is another important way of, taking the data. And then obviously other things, the rest as such. And then this is the design application product. Most probably, we are going to have this particular research on that. And then this is how the application flow is all about. What is the back, front, end, and end. AI processing and data handling. So that's why I added MySQL there for storing the walkthrough data, very short duration data as such. And these are the core features of implementation. And moving on to the challenges, Dr. Mark would discuss. Thank you so much.
So good afternoon. I'll try my best to finish this in 2 minutes. So for the pros and cons, I will just focus on one pros, which is real-time analysis. Because being member of the organization accreditation body, it's really hard and difficult to evaluate teachers. So we need time to find the result and to release the result. So with this, we can see the real-time basis analysis. So with this, we can see that we can receive the result right then or during that day. Then, of course, one of the challenges that I can see is, of course, that we can see is teacher resistance. So this is the thing that I realized. Every time there's an act of innovation initiative in any institution, it will be accompanied by resistance. So here, I will now help you and try to understand how to mitigate these challenges. First, we always have the kind of data privacy law. So with this, we can see that implement data description to secure privacy. So here you can see that there's already ethical consideration or AI policy in our educational institution, but it doesn't mean that this particular framework is demanding for a reformulation or formulation of another policy. So with this framework, we are just challenging the institution to revisit the existing policy or ethical or AI policy in your respective institution and try to see how this framework will fit into the context and situation of your institution. Then second, there's a need for updating of algorithm. According to study, even one day, even a single day, or even minutes or hours, algorithm will change. 1110 can be 1111. So that's how the people in AI will explain it. And then how to address the resistance of teachers, we will propose CPD training. So here you can see that we will not tell them that AI is, we will not just encourage them, but we will help them to understand the advantages and how AI can help them to perform their performance, to help them to improve their performance in the classroom. And of course, lastly, I would like to say then we would like to propose that it is not a pure AI, but it is a human AI collaboration. As one of the researchers in China said, that we cannot solely rely on AI because AI can also be biased with the situation and condition of humanity. So as for this, we can see that everything, this framework will become a success with the supports that will be given of all stakeholders to educational leaders. With that, thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Dr. Reshma and Dr. Mark. And it was the leveraging AI-driven walkthrough for teachers' empowerment. Now I request Ivan Radovic. Please come to the stage. And the topic is AI and authenticity in business leadership, the servant leader's approach. Sir, please.
Just open the first slide, I'm not going to go through everything. Just keep it on the first slide. I'm not going to look at it. Okay, I'm not going to stand by the podium, I'll just kind of go through this really quick just so we can buy a little time and get everybody, moving a little bit. So I'll be moving to, I'm not really good standing in front of the podium. So this presentation is actually a part of, it's a chapter from the book, that I'm writing on leadership. It's called a Leadership 360, probably going to have different name, by the time the book comes out. But, one of the, chapters here, how you navigate as a leader, in AI space, what does that really mean? So the big message here is that leaders need to train AI tools to be leaders versus leaders being trained how to use AI. So if that makes sense, in the same way, leaders need to work with their teams, with the employees, team members around, to co-develop, application of AI. So they all, basically have to work together. It's not just, hey, let's sit in a class, and be trained, how to use AI. This really doesn't help much, because then we are just pouring something down and we don't have unity in our organization, to make things better, to make things, more exciting, to get everybody to be on board. I learned this hard way, and just kind of who was here, that used internet before 2000? Is there anybody that used internet before 1995? Okay, I was one of those. Kind of gives you a little bit of my age, So I was I was in front of this big mainframe computer, and it was gray screen, with the blue letters, and the only thing you can read is some kind of news, and you're staring at it it's am I going to really, what is this thing all about? And that time, this is just junk. That's never going to make it. We can't live without it now. I mean, there's a lot of, the same way, so, and now, that became a part of organization, became part of the marketing, became part of corporate intranet, communication, everything is going through it. So the AI, the tools of AI really came to bear about 3 years ago, roughly, where everybody got hands on a ChatGPT. And from then on, they start looking into different things, and start using it for various things. That thing is advancing too, so in a nutshell, leaders, will have to adapt it. I just went our company has about 250 employees, and most of them are corporate consultants, that's what they do. And we just did a survey to see kind of where are they with the AI. So we had people developing bots, all the way to the people that never touched it. So we are going through this collaborative experience share training. So it's not again, it's not we're gonna put them, gonna teach them, how to, use ChatGPT or how we use, the, Gemini or some other tool specific, to the industry applications. We are basically putting them somebody who has done it in our practice to just share experience to excite others to show them, like, how these tools can support them to be more effective in what they do. Because, I was very effective, like, because I learned this from my kids. They came home, like, in February of 2023, like, they said, they were both at that time in a high school, and they say, hey, Dad, we are using this to write papers. And I like, are you kidding me? Like, you better turn this thing off, you start thinking and do some research yourself. You're not gonna just have this thing write your paper. And so I was arguing, trying to, like, convince them, like, and I don't know, like, I did some level of convincing, they just realized it was a tool, but it was not like something that they can solely rely on it. Fast forward maybe about 6 months later, like, it's like, I gotta check, what the thing really is, and I spent, like, looking at, oh, that's pretty cool, and I said, but then it took me 9 months before I got comfortable to ever, like, using it for anything professionally. And big thing was, like, I wanted to, like, to train it. I wanted to train it to be me. Because the worst thing as a leader is to not to be authentic. Is to, like, use something that people start realizing that's not Ivan. That's not him. He doesn't act like this. He doesn't communicate like this. And I'm a big proponent of servant leadership. This is something that I realized when somebody told me about 6 years ago, like, well, you just like to support others, and then how many of you heard of the book, 6 Working Geniuses? How many of you heard of author Patrick Lencioni? If you haven't heard, like, write down, it's easy reading about a management, because he writes it in novels. And the latest novel is like 6 Working Geniuses. It's one of his, they said, like, was the best one, that he kind of identified there's a 6 geniuses in the world, like, and each one of you possesses 2. And you can operate in 4, and you absolutely hate the last 2. And we actually did a whole analysis, like, in our company, and, like, we survey about, like, 100 people, and everybody did kind of like, yeah, that's me. And even though I do these things and those things that I hate, I do it, but I really hate it. And this kind of, like, there's a whole understanding, like, about how we understand others. And by understanding, like, what they're good at, now we can apply it. Why I'm saying this, because the same thing, when we go, like, AI space, we have to represent ourselves. We have to be authentic. It has to, like, bring trust. You have to, like, people, like, that you see that, you have to be transparent, if you're using AI for any corporate communication or anything else. But even if you're using it, like, you have to train it. So when that thing comes out, it's your soul. It's your leadership style. So nobody kind of questions, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he completely changed overnight. No, so nobody changes overnight. And actually, there's that with the 6 Working Geniuses, book, that assessment shows that you don't change. The way you were born, that's how you are. You're keeping those things, like, those 2 geniuses that you really like doing, that you enjoy doing it, that you're passionate about. And that's kind of like, when I went, like, my working genius is, like, is ideation and enablement. And so an enablement goes where, like, it's servant leadership. So that's kind of like all I wanted to mention here. I had all the slides, but I just didn't want to go through it. But the message is, leaders need to train AI to be themselves.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My friends, this was Ivan Radovic, AI and Authenticity in Business Leadership. Thank you, sir, once again. Now I request Sana Sarmat and Mavish Idris, and they're going to talk on the psychological influences on UAE investors during market volatility and decision making. Sana, please come.
Myself, Sana Samad, and I'm pleased to present my research, Psychological Influences on UAE Investors During Market Volatility and Decision Making. Before I begin, I want to thank my co-authors, Dr. Azim and Ms. Mavish, for the valuable contribution to my research. As we all know, that UAE market is a hub for the investors, and it is a very attractive and volatile market for the investors. It is impacted by global economic shifts and oil price volatility. So I observed that the investor in the UAE are not always rational. They are driven by psychological factors. My motivation for this research is to consider the potential psychological implications of these behaviors. Among the population of United Arab Emirates, a region characterized by rapid economic growth, volatile oil prices, and plenty of opportunities for investment. So it is the reason for market fluctuations such as panic selling, overconfident decisions, and herd behavior. The aim of this research is to examine the psychological biases influencing investor behavior in UAE, focus on market volatility and decision-making process. The questions which addressed in this research are: how does overall psychological factors, biases affect investor behavior? How psychological factors, including overconfidence, loss aversion, regret minimization, exert investment decisions independently? And do cultural elements affect the relation between psychological biases and investor behavior? This research has a significant influence on the global body of knowledge by shedding some light on the psychological biases and behavior on investors in the United Arab Emirates during times of market volatility. It offers practical insight to investors, to regulators, and to all the bodies who are involved, key stakeholders who are using and to understand and mitigate irrational financial decisions in the UAE. After that, the significance of this, when I went for the literature review, overconfidence lead to the overestimation, investor lead to overestimation of knowledge and predictive abilities, which will ultimately cause overtrading and bad investment choices. For the loss aversion from prospect theory demonstrates that investors fear losses more than value gains. So they will hold on to the losing stock too long to avoid realizing a loss and avoid risky decisions. Most of the investors found it that they are not indulging in high risk decisions just to prevent future regrets, which will ultimately make them suboptimal portfolio investments, and they are influenced by this factor which is called regret minimization, and they keep on holding their stock and they are not investing in the UAE market when it is booming. This picture depicts theoretical framework of my research. Regret minimization, overconfidence, and loss aversion are directly influencing investor behavior. Although the cultural elements are acting as a moderator and analyzing the relationship between biases and the behavior. I hypothesize that all three psychological factors have significant impact on investor behavior, and cultural influence significantly moderate the relationship among them. Using quantitative positivist approach, 150 investors filled the survey via closed-ended questionnaire, and stratified random sampling ensured that representation of key demographics. Demographic analysis shows that majority of the surveys questionnaires has been filled by male, which holding most of them master's degree and have an experience of 6 to 10 years of investment experience. Overconfidence analysis shows that or depicts that the investors show moderate confidence in outperforming the market, which lead to avoid risky investments and over excessive trading. Loss aversion is strongly evident in this analysis. It's a strong predictor, and it shows high sensitivity to losses over gains, favoring safer investments. Regret minimization is also observed in many of the investors, which make them cautious decision-making, and they are following crowd tendencies. Social norms and community expectation led investors' preference for financial stability over high returns, although cultural factors did not significantly moderate the relationship. Regression results showed a strong R-square of 0.811, which explained that three psychological factors explaining 81.1% variance in investor behavior, and cultural influence not statistically significant as a moderator. All three psychological factors are significant predictor. The strong influence is coming from loss aversion, followed by overconfidence and regret minimization. The implication for investors for this research that they should go for the awareness of psychological biases to improve decision-making for the investors. For policy makers, tailored educational programs to mitigate biases and culturally sensitive approaches to advising clients should be used by the financial advisors. I recommend workshops on behavioral finance, regulations to reduce herd behavior and panic selling, and explore more additional psychological and cultural factors. I conclude my research on a note that psychological biases significantly impact investor behavior. Cultural elements provide context but are not strong moderator, and behavioral insights can enhance investment strategies and market stability.
Thank you very much, Sana. Thank you very much. Yes, please. Yeah, yeah, quickly. Sana, yes.
I have a few suggestions. Okay, first,
Okay. Just try.
You see one?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
My dog's head.
Yeah. I am planning to take it as a further, when I took this topic in the further research of the future
Okay, let's
research.
discuss
I will-
together. I am the co-author. I will come and sit discuss.
So
Thank
I
you very
will
much, sir.
surely take and consider this AI.
Yeah.
thing.
Okay,
Thank you
is this
for the
reading
great
this?
suggestion.
Hold on.
Now, Sunny, this is your mobile. Do I request Noura Barson
Yes.
and Dr. Saifur Rahman? The topic is investigating the impact of green intellectual capital on sustainable supply chain performance, the mediating role of
Is
green
this me?
products
I clicked it.
and
but
process
That's okay.
innovation.
It's
It's working. Wasim?
No, they have put the USB.
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, it's just we're waiting for it to.
No. This is yours?
No, I'm not up yet at all. It's not. I don't know if this even.
This one?
Nope.
And my
That's-
friends, with this, we will be concluding the session 1. This is the
Just
last
need to go back
presentation.
to Here, let me plug this back in. Oops, you got it. I'm not in this list, so I would be. There, that should do it. USB drive. Is it working?
No, it's working. It's working. No worries. no
Slow,
worries.
okay.
Sometimes it takes time.
We want it all to work fast, don't we?
Hmm.
You know, I've got, put it on my laptop and plug it in if you want,
No, it's not about.
because I just had it up. I mean, it's showing it. It's showing the USB drive
Yeah,
D.
it's showing, but it's not loading.
But I'm saying I could bring my laptop and just plug into the,
It will actually restructure the entire setup.
You can send on the WhatsApp.
I can send
Send me on the WhatsApp.
it. Okay,
Yeah, it's better.
let me take this.
Continue discussion.
Yeah, Wasim?
Yes, Dr. Miraj.
No, just checking. We are waiting for, there is a lag of 2 minutes. There is a presentation which we are trying to get it from the USB, but it's not happening. 05.
It's the first one.
Yeah. Wait.
5090 52594.
Yes.
Email to ABM conference. Okay. Email to ABM conference.
The same email ID. Wasim,
Yes, Dr. Miraj.
Dr. Dr. Saif is emailing his presentation to ABM conferences.
Okay.
The email.
Okay.
Just send that into this chat.
Okay.
Okay, in the meantime, if it is possible,
Dr. Miraj, can you announce to the other presenters who have not
Just-
submitted their PPTs to send it on the email so that I can send it to you?
Yeah, they are sending you. Here in the yes.
Yes, I'm saying the other presenters who have not submitted. It will save time.
Yeah, we can start with the other presenters.
Okay.
Hmm. No, did you send it to the email? So you send it to me, or you send it.
That one you sent to me? Yep. USB not working.
USB, huh?
USB not working yet.
That USB is not working.
Yes, you submitted me.
Dr. Mavish,
You can send to me.
do you have the USB you were carrying in the morning? Or maybe Dr. Tahir has? Please check. Okay, can we have Dr. Akram and Dr. Majid in the meantime? Huh?
Actually, we have it at Indra.
Yeah, WhatsApp.
Can you send me the WhatsApp?
What is the issue there?
Internet is not working. Can I take the laptop? Our laptop? Huh?
That is what I'm saying.
No,
No,
Can we
no.
take the laptop, Seema?
No, we cannot connect it here. It is all set. It will be all disturbing everything. Okay, we can go move on.
Yes,
That's
yes,
okay.
yes, yes, yes. Now you take it. Yes, yes, I received. Okay, now.
Now you email this to me,
Okay.
or if you have my number,
Yes, yes, I can.
maybe, yeah, Gmail. Send it to ABM conferences.
Now,
Yeah, ABM conferences, I'm sure you must be having that.
B,
M
M, again, C, O,
conferences.
C, O, N, F, E, O. Now this one. ABM.
No.
Huh?
Wait. Wasim, can you type the email ID here?
Okay, what is I?
Sure.
ABM.
Yeah, he's typing it.
AB. You can see here the ABM conference.
Did you type?
Yes.
AB.
Here. abmconferences@gmail.com.
Conferences.
Same,
Okay.
same.
Conferences at
Gmail.com.
and if you see maybe. Yes, this one appears.
Send it.
We sent an email.
Yeah. Now check the email and just drop that attachment here in this chat.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, received. I'm just downloading.
Drop this. Just sending.
Is this attaching?
You sent it?
Yes. Now it's there.
Okay, so we are going ahead with the next presentation.
Yes, please. Yes. Yes.
All right. Thank you to all.
Here you
And
go.
what do I push? This down arrow here?
No, the right and left.
Okay, right.
This
left.
will take you.
All right. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Nora Barson, and together with my colleague Saif Ur-Rahman from Canadian University, we are presenting our paper called Examining the Role of Green Intellectual Capital in Enhancing Sustainable Supply Chain Performance. So basically, the paper looks to take the green intellectual capital and see how it influences sustainable supply chain performance of multinational enterprises here in the GCC. The variables we look at, first of all, we're talking about intellectual capital, and on a regular basis, we discuss it in many different lights, but it basically talks about knowledge assets that a company uses to gain a competitive advantage. What we're talking about here is we're adding green to it. We're making it green intellectual capital, which includes the knowledge, skills, and intangible assets. But the difference is what we're doing is we're enabling an organization to integrate sustainable, environmentally sustainable operations and policies into their company. It, just like regular intellectual capital, has three subdimensions: human capital, structural capital, and relational capital. So green human capital talks about knowledge, skills, which includes AI, and awareness of employees regarding sustainability. The focus fosters on a workforce that is capable of executing eco-friendly practices. And the method is we would use training and education, and we would develop initiatives that enhance innovative and sustainable products and processes. Next, we look at the structural component, the green structural capital. This is organizational systems, processes that can also include AI, and culture. And all of these support sustainable initiatives. The framework includes integrating green practices into operations and policies, and the goal is to facilitate resource efficiency and encourage eco-innovation. Now, green relational capital, it deals with the relationships that we have with our stakeholders, whether it be suppliers, customers, regulatory bodies, or others. Green innovation is what we're really taking a look at. And green innovation has two parts: green process and green product innovation. And the goal is to reduce environmental impacts or enhance sustainability. The aim of green innovation process is to enhance business operations and reduce environmental impact. It involves adopting practices that use less energy and raw materials. These practices can involve AI as well, leading to lower waste and emissions. By doing this, businesses not only minimize their ecological footprint, but also improve efficiency and cut costs. On the other hand, we have the green product innovation, and oftentimes companies jump right to this without thinking about the process that is necessary beforehand. This focuses on environmental friendly new products, either designing them or redesigning them to be environmentally friendly, involving recyclable or possibly biodegradable materials that would improve energy efficiency. The results would be that we look at the entire life cycle of a product, and companies look at it and for sustainable alternatives while they're meeting the consumer demand and also protecting the environment. And our final outcome and what we're looking for is sustainable supply chain performance. And this has three different approaches. We always look at social, environmental, and economic impact. So the actual study, the population were members of the National Association of Freight and Logistics. We used the critical incident technique and the construct, the questions, the questionnaire. It was an adaptation of previous studies modified to suit our current needs for our study. We targeted 644 logistics and supply chain managers engaged in operational management, very much hands-on, of MNEs here in the GCC region, and we had quite a good response with 344. This is actually the research framework, and the part we're most interested in is this rectangle off to the right here. Okay, you can see your green intellectual capital on the left that has its three stages: human, structural, and relational. And then over on the far right, we have the outcome we're looking for, which is a sustainable supply chain performance. And in between, in the square, we're talking about green innovations. And I've already mentioned green process and green product. So the study here are our questions. Basically, we're looking at the relationship. Now, this is what we put in our report, but for those of you that are acronym challenged like I am and turn those letters around, what I've done is I've also included the diagram. And Here we go. In straight English, so those of us who, like I said, acronym challenge can figure it out. So we had 1 through 4 hypothesis on this page, and basically it's saying that the green intellectual capital enhances the supply chain performance. So if you find the H1, it goes up and across. It's hard to see here. And that was an accepted hypothesis. Second, we had the green intellectual capital. It enhances the green process innovation. H2A, that also is accepted. 3, the green intellectual capital enhances the green product innovation at the bottom of the rectangle here. That was accepted as well. Now we look down here and we see the green product innovation enhances sustainable supply chain performance. And this hypothesis was rejected. We move on, we do it again, we give you the simplified version. And our 5th hypothesis was that the green process innovation mediates the relationship between green intellectual capital and green product innovation, okay? And you can see that on the chart there. And that hypothesis was accepted. Then the next 2 are rejected. And this is where we take the green process innovation mediates the relationship between green intellectual capital and supply chain performance. And that was rejected, as was the relationship between green intellectual capital and sustainable supply chain performance is sequentially mediated through green product innovation. The good news is the last one, and it shows that there is hope for this process. And basically, hypothesis 7 said the relationship between green intellectual capital, the oval on the left, and sustainable supply chain performance, the oval on the right, is sequentially mediated via green process, then to green product, and then we move it on to sustainable supply chain. So basically what we're saying is there is a way to get from green intellectual capital through sustainable supply chain, but we need to go through making changes to the processes, including adding AI and other processes and procedures to our daily routines, the way we do our process, as well as continue with our green product innovation. But you need to include all those steps in between so that we can come out with a sustainable supply chain outcome. So the conclusions are that multinational enterprises cannot just improve their sustainable performance by solely leveraging their green intellectual capital. That contrary to earlier studies, so we did have a difference before with previous studies, highlights negative impact of green product to sustainable supply chain performance, while green process innovation does not contribute positively. So using one without the other, using only the process to try to get a sustainable supply chain outcome doesn't work. And the same thing with using only product innovation. What we're showing is that there is a way to get there, but you need to go through the entire process. You need to work together. We do know that the green process innovation serves as a mediator link. It links the green intellectual capital to sustainable supply chain performance and green product innovation. And it introduces this novel sequence mediation framework, the 4 steps that I talked about, demonstrating that the green process innovation together with the green product innovation sequentially mediates the effects of green intellectual capital all the way over to the supply chain performance. And it shows that we do have a way to get there. It highlights the complexity of this, that it is not as simple as it looks like it should be, but it does take us step by step through the green process innovation, green product innovation to the sustainable supply chain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My friends, let's have a tea break.
Yeah, we will have a coffee break and please, as soon as possible, let's come back and continue with the next. Thanks. Which one? Sana, Miraj, Akram, Mariam, Junaid, Purva. Can you again send to ABM conferences? Yes. ABM conferences at gmail.com. I will ask question. Please send it. Yeah, whatever email ID you are using, please send it again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are starting the next session, the next track. And okay, so in the next track, we have 5 papers aligned back to back. We have Dr. Akram with Dr. Majid, who will be presenting the paper. Then we have Dr. Adam with Dr. Deepika, Dr. Murat, and then followed by Dr. Mariam and Dr. Mavish. So I am the first one who is supposed to present, but as I mentioned that we are running short of time, I will quickly just brief what I was trying to present, not to take much time. Basically, my paper was titled as Social Entrepreneurship as a Mode Towards Sustainable Development. But then since morning, I found that no one talked about sustainability as such. Everyone is talking about AI. There was no discussion as such about sustainability or anything related to this kind of topic. So I thought that let me share something about my views about AI. Ladies and gentlemen, see, this world has always evolved into situations like this. There has been always something new which the world has always come across. Then they have adopted it, and then their discussion starts. It is commercialized, and then a boom you see for every single phenomena or technology. One of the example is that after the Second World War, when you had the great industrialization, you had a boom in the technology due to obviously the innovations due to the war and all. And then all those inventions and innovations in the machinery, in the technology, in the transport, telecom, they were all utilized for industry. Now, when those technologies were invested or applied in the industrial sense, the production increased, the business increased, the entire economic activity increased, and it brought the activity 100 times faster than what it was happening in maybe 1940s and 50s. As we say that the entire amount of information which the world accumulated in the last 2,000-3,000 years, the 10 times of more information now is accumulated within 1 year. So we have always come across, I mean, I'm talking about in terms of human race, human being, that is it really a threat that this artificial or this technology or this computer, this is going to overtake us or make something more something more threatening to us? No, it's not like that. I will give you one example and then finish. That's one story and the story again, that when we are feeling low, maybe an apple will help, whether it is a fresh apple or Steve's apple. Why I said the Steve's apple, if you remember the famous speech of Steve Jobs, what he narrated in the graduation ceremony of Stanford, the 3 small stories which he shared. The first story he shared was connecting the dots. And it's very interesting. When he says connecting the dots, he shared this story that when he was at Stanford and he was going through a mainstream program, and he ran out of money due to family situation, so many things, that he was not able to pay the fee or whatever. And then he was forced to be a dropout. But this will answer 2 questions what they were discussing in the morning. The university did not expel him from the university itself. However, they stopped his classes or something, some situation like this, that he had to discontinue attending the mainstream classes or his regular program classes. So in this kind of situation, he had the option of joining free classes, which were conducted by the Stanford. One of the free classes was calligraphy. So since he was free, he went and joined calligraphy classes. And then the story goes on, he moves on. but he went to calligraphy and learned, and he was very good at it. Now, that's it. Finished. I mean, it was just a short stint. He learned the calligraphy, moved on, went ahead. Whatever things happened, he became an engineer, he became an entrepreneur, XYZ. Maybe 20 years down the line, when he actually created Apple, what he thought, and this will really enlighten, Microsoft was the only thing which was available there, right? MS-DOS. If the millennials like me, or maybe people of 90s will remember DOS, right? That black screen with that white horrific font, industrial font, and that's it, right? Steve Jobs thought that why not to make this thing beautiful? What if in case we can convert these mechanical font, this industrial, horrible looking font, to something more beautiful? Why can't this black screen become colorful, and why can't we move the fonts and do the rounds in that? And then he invented these fonts based on his acumen, which he collected during the calligraphy classes. Because he learned calligraphy, so he knew the beauty of the fonts, how it can actually transform a document. So there he created these fonts, and what you see these fonts today, even in Microsoft Windows, which was later on purchased by Microsoft and injected in Windows, it is the creative part of Steve Jobs, which was actually nurtured in a university, and it can happen only in a university because no company will keep you on bench without a job. But it is the university only who can bear you, okay, if you don't have money, we will not push you out. You be there and do something else. So two things derived out of this. One, when they say those, what is the difference between the university or higher education and the industry, is that industry is only and only talking about numbers, how you monetize, how you commercialize. They're not talking about any creativity. They're not talking about any passion or emotion or anything. It's numbers. While a university, a higher education, and for God's sake, let us stick to this. Let them say that, okay, we are late or we are slow, but it's actually we people who create Steve Jobs. And even if we are able to create one Steve on a year basis, I think the deal is still beneficial. So, to conclude, this artificial intelligence, just like, okay, now the internet is here, everyone will go jobless. Okay, now the computer is here, everyone will go jobless. Okay, now there is an aeroplane or there is a car, so those people who are riding horses, they will go jobless. No, it's not like that. We humans, as we know, we are known for adaptability and we are known for creativity. So it's we people. So let's not stick to this word artificial. We have to inject humanity. And when you say humanity, it is all those art subjects. So that is how it goes. But anyway, the debate will go on. The next presenter I would like to invite is Dr. Deepika with Dr. Adam, and Dr. Majid will be presenting later on. So let's welcome Dr. Deepika for the next presentation. And as I said, let us be brief as much as possible because we already are running short of time. Wasim, I think everything is fine there on your end. You can hear us, you can see us, right?
Yes, Dr. Miraj. Yes, everything is good.
I think we can clap you for that beautiful insight, sir.
Thank you.
So, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Deepika Gaur. I'm heading the Department of Psychology in Symbiosis International University, Dubai. Today I'll be talking about this topic. Can you minimize this one? Oh, thank you.
From here you will move on.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So I'll be talking about this topic, exploring employee perceptions and anticipated resistance to AI readiness in UAE financial institutions. So this paper, me and my co-author, Mr. Adam, we have done this paper. And here what we are talking about, yes, definitely we are talking about the integration of AI with research. It's undoubtedly it's entering into every area, and which is very nice. Now I'll just talk about the perception, how employees, let's say when it is entering into the industry, into each and every domain. So what is the perception of different individuals? Now, why do we have to talk about the perception? I'll quickly move on to, because of the time limit. So if we first talk about, yes, UAE financial sector, and per se, all the financial sectors in every domain, AI is getting integrated. And there are various decision-making processes which are occurring due to AI. A lot of government initiatives are happening due to which, yes, we are comfortable in using AI. Now, what I am talking more about is the sentiments of employees. What is the perception of employees? And that is going to shape up that how AI will be adopted by each and every individual. Because if we say in the future is about AI, this world in future is going to be raised by AI. So it depends a lot that how employees are going to take it, perceive it, and what will be their sentiments about. So regarding this, the aim of this particular paper is exploring employee perceptions of AI integration. I'll quickly move to the findings first. Okay, just 1 second. When we are talking about the perception, so we cannot forget the theory TAM model, the technology acceptance model, which talks about the perceived usefulness, because until and unless the person considers it to be useful, they are not going to use it. And definitely we all consider AI to be useful in our areas. Then the ease of use is also very important. Okay, we consider that yes, using AI is very useful, but is it easy? And the moment we talk about the ease of use, we cannot forget the generations, because we have Generation X, Millennials, Generation Z, each and every generation working together in the institutes, in the universities, in the industry. Another concept, another theory which I'll say, which is backing this particular area, is force field analysis. So what are the driving forces behind using AI with ease? What are the restraining forces and how we can balance? If I talk about the restraining forces, we know the restoration starts from passive restoration. The person could have a resistance that is passive resistance as well as active resistance. Another third type of resistance is taking the concept and use it with hesitance. So passive resistance, what do we say for passive resistances? They will avoid it completely. Maybe a particular generation, because they don't find it easy to use, so they might avoid it completely. They have a passive resistance. The moment we say active resistance, they will even complain about it. They will do something, they will carry it forward that, okay, why are we using it with such a difficulty? Or I'm not going to use it, maybe because of that I'll have to switch over my area, my field, my job, or I have to step down, step up, do something, so that is an active resistance. Use it with hesitance. So when people are going to use AI with hesitance, so that means they will not be able to completely adopt it and use it to its fullest. So these are the criteria which we have to focus on, that if the resistance is there, what do we have to do? So what do we have to do? So we have to definitely look towards the driving forces, how we can make it comfortable for the people. So that is the way how we can balance it out. I'll move to the, we did a qualitative analysis on this and did the interview for 27 minutes for the participants. Okay, I'll move to the findings. Now, when we talk about the findings, so there are various fears as I'm talking about this resistance which is there. So people do have a resistance about, we received the responses wherein people were saying that it might take our job. That is okay. We all know this is something which is, and we heard the editors, the CEOs talking in the morning also about it, that how AI has cut down on the job roles. Another thing is, which people are facing is human touch is missing. Because some of the people, they would definitely like to go ahead and interact with humans, need those kinds of emotions, need those kinds of human touch, what we talk about, and that is missing. So even that is a fear. Now we have to look to all these factors so that we can guide or we can give the strategies for the organizations to understand that what they can implement. Another concerns, if we talk from the younger employees, so definitely they say, oh, wow, it made our work very easy. Whatever things we were doing in hours, we can just complete it in minutes. So that way, it's easy for us to do it. So this is what is the generation gap. Now, what to do for this kind of generation gap? So there is a limited core function AI fragmented adoption is evident with chatbots. We are the moment, let's say if even we talk about the medical sector. So nowadays what you can do is, and what happens is you want to understand some query of yours, whether into financial sector, into medical sector, into whichever sector. You want to know certain things, want to get your doubts clear. And on the other hand, who is answering you is a chatbot. Maybe a robotic device. So how comfortable are you in dealing with that? So it's not about being negative or positive about it. We just need to understand what is the perception and how comfortable people are. So one is the human touch which they are feeling. Another is which they feel is that maybe our data will get leaked. Our data will get viral. We all know about the Ghibli art which came recently and how it is getting popular. But again, there is a fear about it that how our data is getting spread. So that kind of fear is there. What needs to be done for that? So there needs to be, definitely there are various regulations which are there, stringent financial regulations with slow AI progress in critical areas. So for AI also some kind of restraints are there. And again, that one is the area where the question mark is, that how far AI can take us. Like initially when ChatGPT came, it had various restraints and it was functioning at a limited platform on a limited level. But later on, now if we see, it gives us a lot of detail which it was not giving us earlier. And the moment the kind of Gemini, Perplexity, so many which are coming up, the competition will increase and how the things will go ahead. So AI implementation mainly concentrates on chatbots, HR automation, currently which we talk about in the financial sectors. Now the driving restraining forces, which I already spoke about. So what we can say is we can talk more about in the terms of strategies, what kind of strategies could be there. So yeah. Ethics definitely needs to be considered, and we need to align AI with the explicit business goals, address relevant ethical concerns, what are the crucial responsibilities of AI. But again, there is a question mark in our minds that for how long these ethical considerations will be followed. Will it be followed even after the kind of competition even AI is coming up with? So for how long all the AIs will be following this. Transparent objectives to make, but since we are talking about from employees' perspective, to make employees comfortable, to use AI, all the generations comfortable. What industries need to do is not just adopt AI and function on the basis of AI, but also to make the rules, regulations, policies very, very transparent to all the employees so that they know that how the company is going to lead us further. What is our future in this industry? With clear objectives and ethical incorporation, AI can work as a tool to enhance the productivity. And this is a future, so definitely we need to think about it. So leadership role is very important over here, wherein fostering trust via transparency needs to be there, encourage employee involvement in the AI project. So it's something very, when we talk about organizational change, we talk about organizational strategies. So we do mention about these things that employees need to be involved in the complete process. So when the AI is coming up, when the AI is developing, raising us, employees need to be a part of it so that they become comfortable. So have employees trust the new implementation. They should have a deep understanding of the new landscape which is coming up. All this is the policies, regulations, everything is to make them comfortable with the bombardment, which we can say, which is coming up in the near future. So yeah, this is mainly what is the concept and our recommendation about the advanced technical skills, wherein provide younger staff with advanced technical training in AI. Because now what is more required is we need to give them trainings, what we were talking about in the morning also, that there should be certain sessions which should be there. Yes, with the researchers, the sessions should be there, and it is happening. It is happening. The sessions are happening with the researchers. The sessions are happening with the industry professionals. So these kind of sessions are required. But first of all, we need to understand till what extent this AI will go, which we are still not aware about. We still have many things in our mind that till what extent it will go. And related to that, then what are the practices which we are going to follow. So this is it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Deepika, for such an insightful presentation. Next, we have in the list Dr. Majid. Yeah.
I know all of you tired. 3 minutes, you know?
Is this one yours, Dr. Akram? Dr. Akram?
Yeah.
After this, we have Dr. Murad and followed by Dr. Mariam. Yeah.
This is mine?
Isn't it?
No. Yeah, this is mine. Yeah, this is mine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Majid Al-Kindi. I'm from Abu Dhabi University. I have a friend. He is a genius and he specializes in economics. His name is Professor Akram. We are working together in this article since 2023. And this, yes, please.
Because there are online people, they will give you the hands.
I'm so old, man. My voice is enough.
There are online people.
Yeah. Sorry. So I'm starting with this as a sustainable transportation in Dubai. When I speak about this issue, it's something new because one of the most important things inside sustainability here, we have 3 things why we are doing that article. First of all, this is our name, sorry. First of all, yes, sorry. This is from MIT and Abu Dhabi University. Both of us, we are working about it. And then secondly, we must ask why sustainable transportation is a crucial. Because we have some kind of cities as like Dubai. Dubai, they are built it within 20 years. So in 2001 till 2010, 12, there is a rapid building. Yes, sorry? Is there a question? Thank you very much. God bless you.
We're talking about the sustainability.
Yeah.
Everybody was behind sustainability. Now they are shifting to AI. So, but you are still focused.
Yeah, this is the point. But we will use AI in sustainability. Yeah. As an economy. Anyhow, so let us go and see what is the introduction for that one, that the city is growing rapidly. Public transportation here in Dubai, they are maintained as a maintenance. So we have two ideas. The most important, where is the gap or where is the problem statement in this article? So I would like to, because I have 20 slides, it needs 30 minutes to finish. So I would like to go directly to research a problem that cities facing increasing in emissions, outdated vehicles, technology, etc., etc. But what I am in charge of it, that environmental, what we are doing here, we have it. One of the most important called is the noises in cities. So as a sustainability, how can we solve this problem? And the World Health Organization all over the world, they start that the regular cities to live on it, it must have from 40 to 55 disability as a disable. So what we have here in Dubai, it's around 90. But when I'm checking about the other cities, one of the most noisy city in all of the world is the capital of Bangladesh, Dhaka. It's 119 decibel. Pakistan, India. This is the new economy when we started with it. Because because we are starting a new technology, but we didn't have the strategy for that. Then with Prof. Akram, I'm sitting with him asking, how can we solve this problem? Is there some kind of this problems outside? So we take 3 samples. One of the samples in Europe, the second in South America, and the third one in Asia. So we want to collect, we will give a sample to the people how to solve these problems as like transportation. One of the best solve that they make that the green sustainability. What we have it in Singapore. This solving that the most inside the cities, how can we evolve? And they reduce to 35 decibel, the noise. And by the way, there is pollution, etc., etc. So how can we change to energy as like a clean energy? The second, when we have it in South America, in Brasilia, because they use diesel. Diesel is very awful inside these countries. And they solve it with electric. But the most interesting what happened after the Second War in Copenhagen. Copenhagen is the capital of the Denmark. What they do, they start a new technology, a new idea, and by the way, they use sport also. And they start from the students stage, how to let them know about their environment, how to live with that. One of the most point they do it, they say that the energy of the earth as like sensible, as like the heart of the human. So the heart of human, the blood of the heart of it, the same blood of the earth. So how can, this study is qualitative, between qualitative and quantitative. And in the end, we have some ideas, I hope share it in the future with you. And I don't know, is there is a name, Doctor, is there is a journal or something or newspaper that we will share all of the abstract inside? Yeah, we will share it. And then, is there any question? 3 minutes, finish?
Yeah, the question,
the model I'm using there, yeah. Because I have the model here, this is the model, one of the model, because when I make my sampling, I take 600 drivers from UAE, and these 600 from UAE, I take it to 3H, And from the 3 age, I can make the incubation, etc., etc. And then I found the result. And then after, that's why I will spend 15 to 20 minutes. And then after that, we take this model as like fuel of the vehicles, etc. There is another models here. I use a SWOT, and then I use SPSS. Then I would like to use PLS. And this is what I have inside our economic goals inside UAE. So this study is speaking about GCC and UAE, but I take Dubai as like a sample. And then this is as like key finding when I founding here and like public perception of behavior. And this is something else as a psychology, because one of the problem, how to put the perceptions of the behavior inside, how can like to let them change their behavior. Because in sensibility, most of the kids or the young or they like the noise of the car, they like the noise of their machines, they like, so how can I let them believe them how to change? Because a human cannot change. I do not like. If you will, I will give you a car with petrol or a car with electric. Do you like electric or car or petrol? 100% you like the petrol because you listen to the noise, you can feel when you drive. So sometimes the behavior, how can I change it? It needs a time to let them believe that the future with the energy of electric, etc., or the green. That's all. Thank you very much. God bless you. Yes, yeah, please. Yeah. I didn't include it because I'm afraid. To speak honest, yeah, I'm afraid. Yeah. Because by the way, the framework I didn't put it. Yeah. Yes. Sustainability goal. You understand institutional pressure play a dominating role in this area. But I did not see the research. Dexter, I can't put the framework because I would like to publish. No. I have it. No, I make it by my hands. So the variables. So I have independent, and I have immediate, and I have moderators, everything. Even I put men and women inside, but I couldn't remember. I would like to see who will work more women or men. All of these I do it, but I cannot give it. Yeah, this is. Thank you very much. God bless you. There's another one.
Yeah. By the way, the next is Dr. Murad. And before I invite him on the podium, just a piece of information on what we were talking about. The actual share of the energy consumed internationally it is consumed is 6% of the energy internationally is consumed by the data backup centers, which we have. 6% of the total energy we consume internationally in a year, 6% of that is consumed by the data backup centers, which we are doing every day. So yes, those vehicles and all those, they are making, but the bigger difference is here. And just to add one more thing there, till the file is downloaded, that the maximum number of SUVs is in the Middle East, is in Dubai. The lowest tax on the transportation is in UAE or the Middle East, you say. So things are much more generic rather than what we are thinking. Okay. Okay, so next speaker we have is Dr. Murad Akaya from Green American University, North Cyprus. Thanks for him to be with us. And over to you, sir. You need this? And you
Or
can-
I will use this one. This is better.
It's
if I
okay.
can. Okay. And I want to add one more thing. We are using energy consumption, 6%, 7% we are using for storing data, but for finding, for the searches also, we are using that much. So whenever the resolution of the searches will improve, then we will start to use most of the energy in AI and on these areas. Okay, actually, I was at the beginning, I was dreaming to go around half an hour or something, but I deleted many of the slides. Generally, I will talk about within 2-3 minutes. So we are trying to develop machine learning model for adaptive business process management. What we are making, we are dividing the business functions into portions, and then we are modeling each portion itself. Then we are combining them as a modules. At the end, AI is being our SEO to make SEO, to make decision for the CRM, for the ERP, for the strategic decisions, for HRMs, for deadlines and everything. So the main idea is to produce something to manage the companies, big volume companies, like the best CEOs in the world. This is the starting point of the project, actually. So in 2024, Arsin Dibetic and then Junlu made something about this, but they just check some part of it. They try to find the relation between the changes of AI and effect on performances. Okay. The challenge here is to adapt dynamic internal and external business environments together. Like I said before, the CRM parts, supply chain parts, HRM part, these are the modules of the total business management. And then we are trying to dynamically update this by using AI. Because we are going with the traditional companies, whenever the things are changing in the companies, then the decision mechanisms and decision structures are not being able to follow that structure. So as a solution, we are trying to use business process management by using machine learning algorithms. We tried several different algorithms. I will talk about them quickly. Like we know, machine learning is enabling us to analyze the real-time processes and then real-time data to detect, and then to make some predictions and to support automated decision mechanisms. Okay, AI-driven approach will be applied on business process management on these divided modules of the business progresses. 5 of the companies are used. These are the mid-sized companies that are used, and then they were ready to adopt their systems on AI systems. By the way, one of these application we are now physically making it, actually physically doing on one company, but it started with this 5 company. We checked all the functions, methods, all the functions that combining together to support management, total management, and then we try to model all these parts by using AI. Okay, the model is working like this. Is there any chance to take, or shall I? Quickly, we are collecting data from this point. First of all, collecting ERP, CRM, BPM, and all these modules. Data is being processed, cleaning and normalization on the data first of all, and then sequencing them, and feature engineering. Circle time is being applied. We are selecting model. In the model, we try to select different models actually, but random forest classifier is working best because it is producing results more than 85% success. So between this and the nearest one, we have 8 to 15% difference about the success. So these are removed, these are staying tested, and we are continuing with this. So with the random forest classifier, we are training, and then we are making validation processes. 80% of the data are being used for training, and 20 of them are being used for the testing. Fault cross validation is being applied, and then we are checking the performance by using F1 scores. So these are the variables that we are using actually. In the databases, we are using these variables, and these are common for all the companies. They are all using them. So this result is showing us different companies on different companies effect of the first model, random forest model. Like you see, the success level is changing between 85 to 90. Means that it is learning more than 85% of the things that we teach like expected. And in this part, we compare different algorithms. SVM algorithm, dividing with the vectors, it is tried. Logistic regression tested. LSTM is tested. Gradient boosting. And the best one is random forest algorithm, which is creating the trees, decision trees randomly. And then by checking, by comparing these trees, it is trying to select the best solution. So on this data, the random forest was the best method that gave the best results actually. So the result is showing that this algorithm is letting us to train the system with the success of 85 to 90%, and then it can be applicable. And then, like I told before, it has a difference between 8 to 15% compared to the nearest approaches, like SVM. And references, and thank you for listening. Of course, please. Actually, can I talk like this? Normally, I am using radial basic functions, multi-layer perceptual algorithms, vector propagation multi-layer perceptual algorithms, and genetic algorithms. These are my favorite algorithms that I'm always working with. This time, I try to change the way of testing, and then I try to use trees. In the weighting system, again, in the SV system, there is same rights values, and weights. It is also included in the system, but it is working 8 to 15% lower with lower structures. So this electric it is very short for this type of time was very short. Sorry for that. If any point is missing, then on the real paper I will share.
Conference proceeding. Very interesting because the results are very, I mean, this is already the methodology and the results are already.
No, I think I have.
Disseminated. I tried to complete it in 5 minutes.
Yes.
This one.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Murad. So the next speaker with us is Dr. Mariam, and she is sharing her insights on cultural and religious influences on the travel experience of Arab Muslim women. Thank you. Please, Mr.
Thank you, Doctor, for introduction. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. I'm very honored to be part of this. So, assalamu alaikum, good evening. And I would like to thank all the organizers for this amazing event and really honored to be part of it. Today, I'm going to present my research paper. How I can make it full screen. Doctor, can you help me here, please? How to make it full screen here?
Scroll down. Use this up and down.
But it's not full screen.
You want full screen?
Yes.
I think in because it is a PDF file.
I also shared
No.
the PDF, the PowerPoint.
No, it's a PDF file.
I sent it also the PowerPoint.
I think
I shared.
Wasim, did you share Dr. Mariam's PPT? Do you have that?
Would you like me to share it?
If you have a USB?
No, I have it on my laptop only. Anyway, okay, I'll go through this.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yes, I'll go through
Now
this.
use this up and down.
Yeah, just like this, it's fine.
Yeah, now it's
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay like this, it's okay.
It's
Yeah.
in fact crossing the, now I think this is the better
Okay.
size. Okay.
So actually my paper falls into customer behavior research and
Now get it.
okay. So first, I'm going to talk about why I have chosen this topic. There is actually a growing segment of Muslim travelers. Muslim travelers reached 140 million Muslim tourists in 2018, and this number is expected to rise to reach 230 million by 2026. About half, or exactly 45% of this huge number, are Muslim women, and they're spending around $80 billion. Okay, so this is annually. We are talking annually. So this is a important growing segment of travelers that is really under studied in tourism and hospitality research. Majority of these ladies are young, educated, economically empowered with increasing financial independence. So what are the main drivers of Muslim women travel experiences? Now we have a higher percentage of female employment rates.
with the rapid middle class expansion in Muslim majority Arab countries. They have higher access to education and financial independence since 2000, since year 2000. Also, the effect of social media and influencers have motivated more Arab Muslim women to travel either with the family or solo. Preference for faith-aligned travel, the preferences for Muslim women to travel is still keeping their religious and cultural restrictions while traveling. So they keep their modest attire, they look for halal options, prayer facilities. So I found that there is a research gap that this huge segment of travelers are underrepresented in research. Even the research that has actually investigated women travel or even Muslim women travel always focus on Far East countries like Malaysia, like Indonesia, but not the Arab Muslim women. So this paper actually was dedicated to investigate their motivations to travel, their special needs that is shaped or molded by their cultural and religious restrictions, and the challenges they are facing while they are traveling, especially to non-Muslim countries. Okay. So historically, social and religious norms in Arab countries limited women's roles in public life and travel. However, with globalization and increased access to education and rising economic participation, all these have gradually reshaped the traditional gender roles in Arab countries. Also, the legal reforms in countries such as Tunisia, Lebanon, Egypt, and UAE has actively promoted gender equality. Yeah, it came a little bit later in other countries like Saudi Arabia, but they are now making like significant progress. Women's growing economic independence also has enhanced their mobility and decision-making power, and also they make them more willing to travel solo. Despite all these advances, deeply rooted cultural expectations and legal constraints continue to pose some challenges in many regions. Okay, so we need, first I discussed the Islamic teachings and related to women autonomy. We found that Islamic historically granted women many rights, actually just equal to the men. However, we have like some very strict scholars who their interpretation about Islamic rules is preventing women from traveling solo unless they have what they call mahram or a male guardian for a relative. Okay, but there is more like feminist scholars who reinterpret the religious texts to support equality between men and women, and showing that it is totally permissible for women to travel solo as long as safety is guaranteed. Okay, so many restrictions, actually we found like many restrictions regarding women travel in Islam comes from the cultural and social norms, not from the religious instructions. The methodology I have used in this research is qualitative methodology, focusing on doing interviews with 27 Arab Muslim women from different 12 nationalities: Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and from UAE. Participants were selected through purposive sampling. Interviews were conducted either face-to-face or online. As per the participants' profile, we actually covered like a huge range of age from 27 years old to 52 years old. So we have 3 different generations early Generation Z, Millennials, and Generation X. Different marital status, single, married, divorced, wedded, also as employment status, multiple or different mixed ladies, working or non-working women, also as per wearing hijab, hijabis, or non-hijabis. For the main findings of the research about first issue, which is the travel motivations, we find that the majority of the respondents, they prefer traveling for cultural reasons. So they would love to see and mix with other cultures, see historical sites, art places, even trying different cuisines, interacting with different people from other cultures. The second major motivation is just to stay and spend the vacation with the family, okay, or what we call it social travel, to enhance the family relationships and bonds through shared memories and experiences. The next important motivation to travel is for shopping and luxury. And this was really dominant between the respondents from Gulf area. Okay. Just traveling to do shopping or enjoy luxury or top-end facilities was actually a motivation for some ladies to travel. Also, 11% of the respondents give religious tourism priority to travel to practice pilgrimage or visit most popular religious sites. Entertainment and relaxation also was one of the most important motivations to travel among Arab Muslim women. Business and leisure came at the end, with only 7% of the respondents who mentioned that they are traveling for business, and usually mix the business with leisure. So if they have a conference, for example, or traveling for a business purpose, they always integrate it with leisure or cultural type of activities. Then we will move to the next findings that is related to Muslim Arab women needs, special needs, and the challenges they are facing while traveling and how they are trying to overcome. The majority actually has reported problems with the access to halal food. Okay, 85% mentioned that they were struggling to find restaurants who are providing certified halal meals. Okay, and they try to overcome such problem. Of course, this problem in non-Muslim countries, like especially in European countries or in America. They try to overcome such a problem by just becoming vegetarian. So they stick to vegetarian meals and the seafood. And some mentioned that we rent like Airbnb places so we can cook some meals. The next challenge was to find prayer facilities. Okay, so it was about 80% of the respondents reported difficulty in maintaining prayer routines. Okay, because it's difficult to find places to pray or to make ablution in public areas, in airports, in shopping malls, in any place except. So they have to schedule their day according to the prayer times, and sometimes they go back to their rooms at the hotel to pray, or take this facility in Islam to combine the prayers. The next important challenge that they are facing is discrimination and Islamophobia. A huge percentage, actually 65% of the respondents, they mentioned that they have been exposed to some type of discrimination, racism, were treated with rudely, and all the time stared at just because they are Muslims, especially hijabi travelers. So hijabi travelers actually reported that they were the most respondents were exposed to racism and discrimination because of their hijab. The next challenge was the hygiene issues. 60% face absence of bidet or water sprays in the toilet. And this was also a big problem for them. And many of them mentioned that they carry personal hygiene kits, like portable bidets with wipes extra, just to overcome this problem. The next challenge was modesty and the clothing barriers. 50% reported that they face social pressure because of their modest attire. And many of them that they said we do research before we travel, just to check what is the appropriate, culturally appropriate attire in the destinations. And some of them mentioned that they modify their attire to be more like culturally flexible and more acceptable by other cultures, but while keeping their Islamic and modest attire. Okay, some of them, they mentioned that wearing abaya and hijab make them very it's obvious that they are Muslims. So they are more it's more obvious for others that they are Muslims, and this make them fear that they will be exposed to racism. So many of them, they don't wear abayas while traveling. Some of them, they replace the traditional type of hijab with a more modern type like turban. So they don't face such problems. For me, myself, I have faced such problem while traveling in Europe, especially in France and some areas in Spain. I was I got weird staring looks from many people, and I was really treated rudely and with racism just because of my hijab. And many of the respondents, especially hijabi, they mentioned the same problem. The next challenge was the language barrier. 45% find it. Okay, sorry. So I'll try to do it more quickly. So language barriers also in countries that doesn't speak English or Arabic, they use translation applications. Most of the time, security concerns, like 40% have fear from harassment or unsafe solo travel. Okay, I'll move to this point, which is important. Arab Muslim perspectives on solo travel. 100% of the respondents actually agree that it is religiously permissible to travel solo as long as safety is guaranteed. 11% preferred not to travel solo due to personal safety concerns. 7%, especially these were from the younger generations, they see solo travel for 15% advocate solo travel as personal freedom without cultural or religious restrictions. And this was from the younger generations, mainly Generation Z. As preference to travel with the family or within a group of females or solo, we found that the majority agree that they prefer to travel with the family or group of friends. And the second preference was to travel with female groups only. Okay, spousal travel, unfortunately, 7% only. It was less common due to added planning burden. So they mentioned that when they travel with their husbands, all planning for travel has to be done by the lady. So they don't like to travel with their spouses. Strategic recommendations for the tourism suppliers or providers, so actually to tailor-made their services to meet the expectations and needs of Arab Muslim women. They need to improve their tourism services like halal food, provide prayer areas, modest facilities with like segregated areas for ladies and gentlemen, and increase or enhance the safety procedures. They need to launch culturally sensitive destination campaigns targeting Muslim women tourists, develop mobile applications and digital guides for halal and Muslim-friendly services like the halal restaurants, implement culturally sensitivity training in hospitality and educational programs, support anti-discrimination laws and intercultural initiatives to combat bias and promote inclusiveness, promote certifications such as halal tourism and partnership with Muslim majority countries. Thank you so much for your listening. And any questions? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Based on 27, you are getting the recommendation. I think it may be very difficult to generalize. Actually, the research is still in progress, and I'm planning to add more respondents to my sample to like confirm the results and findings. Yeah. But the findings actually they agree with other researches that have been done about Muslim travelers in other countries or in other cultures, like I mentioned before in Far East. So they are we are getting the same results.
So now you have done the inductive research and you have understood the phenomenon in this limited qualitative. Now next stage you can go for the
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This is a very good idea that we go now for qualitative and do like a survey to include more respondents. Thank you so much.
Dr. Rock,
yes.
Actually, it's a comment, but it was partially addressed there. I think this is a very interesting topic that has not been touched in a scientific and objective way. I think this is a great what you are doing.
Thank you.
It's a descriptive.
Yes, it is. Yes.
You need to do an inferential study by doing it. All what you need right now, just expand the model to reach a more diversified random sample and have a robust methodology, like a cross-sectional time series, pool data, just to see the real reasons for the determinants for that stereotypes. Because I think this will be very innovative in terms of is it political? Is it geographic, demographic? Is it the age? You mentioned in
yes.
They stereotype this. So it could be maybe the shifts in the political left or right, or it could be the age and demographic income. We don't know. If you do that, that will be very contributing to the literature as far as what are the real reasons. Then recommendation will nail those because it will be robust. So I think continue that. It's very promising.
Thank you for your valuable insights, doctor. Yes, doctor, yes.
It's really nice to see that.
Thank
you. You give the variety of area. But I'm asking about the demographic. Did you take border places or only Muslim countries?
Arab Muslim countries, because this is. Sorry?
Some else places that means they feel that the gender is good or bad, etc., or they have a different, etc. And you will make comparison of that.
I didn't get the question. No, the sample is from Arab countries. Sorry, doctor. No, actually, we took the sample, but when we asked the question, we asked them about their experience in Muslim and non-Muslim destinations. Yeah, they are familiar. They know, they recognize Muslim women as Muslim women. Yeah, but the way they are treating the Muslim women is different. Like they are stereotyped. Okay, just because they are Muslims. This is why when some of the respondents were non-hijabi, they mentioned they didn't like experience it any type of racism or discrimination while traveling in non-Muslim countries, because it was hard to recognize them as Muslims unless their faces show that they are from the Arab region. Okay, so they were also exposed to such racism. But if their physical features does not, they are not hijabis, and so they cannot be recognized as Muslims, so they didn't report any racism. Yeah, inshallah, it will be like, it needs some. Actually, there is more analysis that takes into consideration the demographics of the respondents and interrelated with different results, like motivations, like challenges, like solo travel. But I make the presentation here short because of the time. But there is more analysis actually that is within the paper itself. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mariam, for such an insightful study. Just a very quick bite. Whatever points Dr. Mariam has identified in terms of comparing the Muslim women with any conventional women environment, except the prayers, all the topics, all the problems are same for women from any demography, any country, any religion, whatever she has identified, except the prayers. Like the Muslim women has to pray, go for prayers for maybe 4 or 5 times, or for the ablution. Rest, all the issue remains the same, or maybe the halal food. But even in the food also, when you come to the modest attire, it is the nuns are also wearing the same kind of attire, but still they have to go through those gaze. So it's a as you say, male chauvinist society. So it remains so all over the world. What is required is more to maybe change the image of the male and the female, or that conventional thinking. And here maybe your AI can help, that if someone asks you a question, give me a brief about Muslim women. So the answer when this AI will give, whether it is DeepSeek or ChatGPT, it should not show the Muslim women were like a conventional one and who don't know anything. Maybe he can show Dr. Mariam, Dr. Mavish, or maybe the ladies sitting with us, that okay, Muslim women are also smart and they know how to live. So maybe that is another angle of the study. Anyway, thanks for this lovely session. The next session is being chaired by Professor Zafar. And just a point of caution that we are already running late. So it will be really, 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 really highly appreciated if we can just go very smart, just like the AI. So let's prove an example that we humans can be also smart and more calculative as better than the AI. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Dr. Maharaj. I was not expecting that the session at this stage, at this time, will be interesting and very interactive. So it's really kudos go to you that you guys have really made it very lively. We have 5 presentations now, but the time is just half an hour. So in 30 minutes, we have to divide this time because I don't want to go beyond 6:15. So therefore, I think according to the calculation which Dr. Maharaj said, we have to make the calculation. So everybody will get 6 minutes. So within 6 minutes, you have to finish, whether it is half cooked or full cooked, but we will go not beyond this time. So, and for that, I can sacrifice my paper. And if there will be some time left, I will do it in the end. So Thank you. So I would like to invite Mr. Junaid Al-Haq, who will be talking about the navigating the metaverse, the role of psychological distress, belonging, and emotional attachment in user well-being and behavior. I think this will also be very, very interesting topic because it is more close to the human behavior. So let's listen to Mr. Junaid, what is in the plate for us. Please. 6 minutes, Mr. Junaid. Done, sir.
Do we have it here? You want PPT? Look. Okay.
Hello. Am I audible to everyone? Okay, am I audible? Right? In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful, I will just give a quick view of my research. In this research, we have just gone through different AI apps for two purposes. That is basically hedonic and utilitarian. Like we have two types of people, individuals, hedonic use or utilitarian use. In hedonic use, we discuss the AI apps which are mandatory used mostly in education sector. That is ChatGPT or DeepSeek type. And the other one is utilitarian, which people use for gaming purposes. And just a quick view, a lot of studies have done on well-being of the people or the users, but very rare studies have been so far observed the well-being of the people who are using these AI apps and further their impact for continuous use or switching from these apps. And these are three objectives of the study. And I have used the theory technology acceptance model, which is about the people who are going to accept the new technologies, their behavior and their attitude towards the technology. And this is the model. I will try to explain it here. We have discussed three individual factors. These are for individual behavior. That is about when people are mostly using the social media apps or the AI apps, mostly they have less social circles. They just try to get the help from their internet or the other things. Psychological distress, this is mostly applicable to the people who are using the gaming apps. Sense of belonging, they feel some sense of emotional attachment with the avatars or the virtual influencers, and their further impact on the well-being, psychological well-being and the life well-being of the people. And further, they can also be addicted with these AI apps. This is mostly common happening with the people of Generation Z and Generation Alpha 2. And their final outcome, mostly they just stick with these apps, and sometimes they just get exhausted after some time and they try to switch from these apps. Okay, so these are the hypotheses we have proposed. Okay, so we have collected the data through stratified random sampling. What is that? That is just to collect the data from the different stratas. We have divided into two stratas, that is hedonic and utilitarian. For hedonic, we have collected from AI apps, different gaming apps, which are Generation Z teenagers are using. And the other one is hedonic, that is for educational purposes. People are using AI apps and other AI tools for the research purposes. And we have designed a close-ended questionnaire. There were three sections. First was the predefined, one was the predefined items. Second was the demographic of the respondent. And one section was about the intro of the research, what we are going to do. And this is demographics. Like we have more people from the Generation X, 20 to 25, they are 63%. And education users, 254, and gaming user, 159. Okay, so as we are going to, we have collected data, primary data. So we have to just go through some preliminary analysis, that is normality, to observe whether data is normally distributed. Then the reliability, that is internal consistency between the items of a variable. And we have get these values up to the threshold level. Okay, so then there is validity analysis, and it was observed through convergent validity and discriminant. And we have these conditions for these AV and factor loading. These are also according to the threshold. And then discriminant validity, that here is its table. All the square root of AV should be greater than its peer values. That is also up to mark. So we can proceed for the next. That is hypothesis testing. And we did it through structural equation modeling technique in MOS. First one is just the overall analysis, and second one is comparison between the education and the other one is for gaming apps. And what we have observed, mostly people are using these overall, but not with the intention to use it for specifically. And just the quick one, this is conclusion. We have observed that psychological distress reducing well-being and increases addiction, emotional attachment and sense of belonging improving well-being. The psychological factors are emphasized as key determinants. Psychological distress is found to be direct contributor to metaverse addiction. Hedonic users, that are gamers, are more likely to be addicted, confirming the behavioral consequences of distress. Third one, well-being influences both switching and continuous usage intention. And the fourth one, addiction reduces switching and promotes continued usage, particularly among the hedonic users. And here are some limitations and their future directions. Examine the linkage between the psychological health and user behavior. In future research, this can be expanded to the additional user groups context, exploring varying level of user involvement and motivation. There can be different motivations. And the next one, we can also research, investigating metaverse applications in dynamic industries like hospitality to assess psychological health impact in service-based virtual environments. And the third future research can be done, moderating factors such as cybersecurity threats, online privacy risks. Okay, so this is all from my side, and I try to leave in 5 minutes. Any questions, sir?
No, let me, yes, Dr. Rock. My suggestion is that first we get all these presentation done, and then in the end, we will have the question answer session and whatever you have, because we want to limit ourselves within the time frame which is given to us.
Or I can just respond by visiting everyone.
But you can write it down.
Okay.
You can ask him in the end.
Sir.
Okay.
Actually, I like that. It's very well structured. You have the methodology, frame of the model.
Sir.
My question is a very simple one.
Sir.
My kids, I have 4 kids, they're so addicted to the gaming and the screens and everything.
Sir.
And as long as the methodology is robust, because I have to know that what is the solution to get them off the screens.
Sir. Yes, sir, that is just to increase their social network. Because when they are feeling alone, then they are addicted with the tech.
This is not academic answer. You must say, I'm doing the research. So
No personal solution. Go and see doctor. Yeah, but see.
Okay, sir.
I withdraw and I'll go by short.
Sir.
Actually, I have a big question on your methodology.
Sir.
You have combined the 3 clusters together.
Which one?
One is AI users for the researchers, second is for education, third one is AI. 3 clusters you combine.
No, sir, 2 clusters, hedonic and utilitarian. Hedonic is just for gaming and utilitarian is just for researchers or for ChatGPT users. They are utilitarian.
Cluster, I don't think you can be studied together because their objectives are different.
Okay.
Because what I published the paper in years 11 in Perspective, they asked me to focus only one cluster.
Okay.
Because every cluster have a different objective. 2 clusters to combine, I don't think, but it's okay.
But your answer have been responded in it. How? Because if utilitarian is accepted, then hedonic is rejected. So I am endorsing your point of view. That is true. In both situations, one will be accepted, other will be rejected. If hedonic is accepted in one hypothesis, then utilitarian will be rejected. Like in sense of belonging, both will be accepted. But for the first one, that is psychological distress, that will be accepted for gaming, but rejected for hedonic. Because, sir, thank you.
But you already defied my policy. So anyway, I think we should we should stick to the time, because this is your conference and you have allocated that time. So if you are violating it, so then I will not have any control over it. Anyway, thank you very much, and I think this was very healthy discussion, and I hope that after this like end of these presentations, you can have as many questions as you like. Thank you, Junaid. And now we have Miss Huma Noshin Mirza, who is going to present a conceptual framework for understanding the impact of novice teachers on classroom management in early year education in the UAE. And I would like to say that she is a PhD student, and this is her proposal. And I hope that it will be very interesting, and she will collect a lot of good comments from the audience. Over to you, Ms. Huma.
Thank you.
If you'd like to use this one.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm here to present my research proposal on the impact of novice teachers on classroom management in the early years in UAE. As someone who has worked in the early years setting in UAE over a decade, I have firsthand witnessed the dedication and potential of our educators. But I have also seen the challenges faced by the novice teachers and the ripple impact of those challenges on on our young learners. So this has fueled my desire to delve deeper into this topic and find solutions that can empower our novice teachers and create thriving learning environments. So my research focused on the unique context of the UAE, where high pedagogical standards, cultural diversity, and specific behavior needs of young learners create a complex environment for novice teachers. The problem statement highlights that novice teachers often struggle due to limited experience and inadequate training tailored to the early childhood education, and that impacts the reduction in the instructional quality and the learning environment in the early years classrooms. The central question this study explores is what factors can enable novice early years teachers to meet pedagogical standards and address the behavior needs of young learners to enhance classroom management. The aim of my research is to examine the impact of limited experience and training on classroom management among novice early years teachers in the UAE. I want to understand how these factors influence their ability to meet pedagogical standards and address the behavior needs of young learners. Ultimately, I hope to identify key challenges faced by novice teachers and explore the strategies for improving training and professional development to enhance classroom management effectiveness in early childhood education. To provide a solid foundation for my research, I'm drawing upon several key theories, such as Vygotski's social culture theory that emphasizes the importance of social interaction and the need for mentorship and scaffolding for novice teachers. And the other one is Bandora's social learning theory that underscores the importance of observation, role modeling, and feedback. In terms of classroom management models, I will be looking at Cantor's assertive discipline model, which focuses on the clear expectations and teacher authority, and the Conan's instructional management theory, which emphasizes proactive strategies and managing classroom flaws. I have also recognized the gaps in existing theories and studies. Many fail to address the unique challenges faced by novice teachers in the UAE, such as multicultural classroom, diverse curricula, and linguistic differences. There's also a limited focus on early years educations and on overemphasis on experience, which can be problematic for the novice teachers. Finally, there's often insufficient integration of professional development in induction programs, despite their importance. I believe that this research has a potential to make a significant contribution to the field of early years education in the UAE. My theoretical framework integrates these theories to examine the relationship between teacher experience, teacher-student interaction, mentoring and professional development, and classroom environment and students' outcome. The research has a significant impact on different areas such as educational practices by providing the strategies for mentorship and professional development, teachers development programs by contributing the theory to understand the teacher effectiveness. This research will inform training programs and support system that can address the specific needs of novice educators. And the policy making and recruitment can also get the insights from the research to redefine the policies and practices to help institutions effectively integrate novice teachers into their educational system. And definitely the most important, child development by improving the classroom management skills of novice teachers. The research ultimately aims to enhance learning outcomes of young learners, supporting their fundamental educational experience. And yeah, and I will be taking the data from the teachers, the experienced and novice teachers, as well as the industry leaders. Thank you.
It was pretty quick. I was expecting that you're going to take more time, but nevertheless, it's really very good that we will be now within our time frame. So I would like to invite now Apurva Shaurya, and he's going to talk about the impact of artificial intelligence on human resource practices. So this will be also a very interesting topic. And I hope that you will show us some ways how we can use it in these human resource practices. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Apurv, and I am one of the PhD students presenting here today. And the topic of my PhD thesis or my PhD research is exploring the impact of AI into HR practices. Now, most important question, why always AI? Like, what's the rationale behind it? And why HR in general? So the focus of the research is exploring the impact of AI into HR practices, because this has already been implemented in most of the organizations. And in fact, even if you include the HR, we're already seeing the impact in terms of recruitment practices. But if you explore or you study further, there is no much research conducted on talent management, performance appraisal, employee engagement, and so on and so forth. And similarly is the motivation of the research. The growing adoption of artificial intelligence in the organization. Our organizations worldwide pushes HR professionals to reconsider how the traditional recruitment and talent management approaches works. AI tools like predictive analytics, machine learning, NLP, have the potential to improve efficiency, reduce biasness, and enhance decision-making processes in HR. However, the actual impact of technologies on human resource practices in the UAE still remain unexplored. And that brings me to the problem statement. The integration of AI into human resource practices, particularly in recruitment, is becoming increasingly prevalent in the organizations worldwide. However, the adoption and effective implementation of AI in HR is met with a variety of challenges, including concerns about algorithm biasness, ethical considerations, and the potential disruptions of traditional HR processes. In the context of UAE, while the country is undergoing a rapid economic transformation and technological advancement under the Abu Dhabi Economic Vision 2030. The research questions that have been identified for my project, for my research is, what is the role of artificial intelligence in the overall organizational performance? To what extent artificial intelligence impacting various HR practices? How much human resource practices mediates the relationship between artificial intelligence and organizational performance? To what extent artificial intelligence trained HR professionals moderates the relationship between various HR practices and organizational performance? In terms of research methodology, I'll be using mixed method, which will be the combination of qualitative and quantitative research. In terms of sorry about that. In terms of qualitative research, qualitative research will focus on exploring perceptions and insight from the UAE natives and employees about AI in recruitment. In terms of sample selection and data size, overall 114 HR professionals and AI staff from the selected companies will participate via survey. In terms of research method, now data analysis will be in the form of qualitative analysis through thematic analysis and quantitative analysis through PLS-SAM. In terms of this, the one that you see on my screen is the theoretical framework, which will explore how artificial intelligence will have performance, or to check the impact of artificial intelligence on the overall organizational performance, with the hypothesis, which is H1. Artificial intelligence has a positive impact on HR practices, H2. Hypothesis 2, HR practices has a positive impact on organizational performance. Hypothesis 3, artificial intelligence enhances organizational performance. Hypothesis 4, artificial intelligence has a positive impact on AI-trained HR professionals. Hypothesis 5, HR practices mediates the relationship between AI and organizational performance. And finally, hypothesis 6, where artificial intelligence trained HR moderates the relationship between HR practices and organizational performance. Lastly, practical implications for the organizations. Organizations will recognize the significance of AI and AI-trained HR system in enhancing efficiency, decision-making, and workforce management. Implications for policymakers. Policymakers will gain insight into the transformative impact of AI-based HR on industries and the need for regulatory framework to ensure the ethical implementation. And implementations for the employees. Employees will understand how artificial intelligence enhances the workplace efficiency, improving job roles, and add value to the career growth and professional development. That's it from my side. Thank you very much.
And just
better to discuss with him. He will show you the way how you can do it.
Sure.
okay, he will come to you and you just suggest him how to integrate that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Apurva Shaurya. I think it's a very practical thing that now we are in the age of artificial intelligence, and we have to integrate artificial intelligence in all the walks of life. So very interesting thing, but of course there are always shortcomings, and we can discuss that. We are well on time, And we have the last presentations from Dr. Muhammad Juma. He will be talking about the role of fintech in economic growth and sustainable development, a case study of the UAE. So I hope you will stick to the time, which is only 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. You can give me the. Actually, my paper is still in the process, and anybody who would like to join me in this paper is more than welcome.
That's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So everybody knows that the UAE is accelerating the fintech integration into economic growth. But the idea is So the idea is the human capital development and integration into the fintech industry still under-explored. And the research problem here that we have money like literature, and also we have some report from the OECD, Organization of Economic Development and Cooperation, mentioned that there's a concern. They said that UAE is leading the Middle East in terms of fintech industry, but there are still some concern regarding the cybersecurity, regarding the fraud, regarding the consumer protections, and also human development. And also they said they have talent problem, or the talent skills problem needed to fintech industry. Despite the money initiatives of the UAE starting from 2012, and we have like the IFC Hive, and we have also Abu Dhabi Global Market Digital Lab, and also we have UAE Smart Universities. So my research here, we'd like to measure the impact of fintech education in enhancing the economic growth and economic sustainability. So this is the research objectives. We can go to the research questions quickly. How does the fintech adoption impact economic growth in the UAE? What role does the fintech education and workforce development play in strengthening the UAE fintech sector? And also, how do government policies and regulatory frameworks influence fintech growth and its contribution to economic sustainability? And what strategies can be implemented to maximize fintech role in financial inclusion and economic resilience? And what are the key risks and challenges associated with fintech adoption? Through this question, we have also generated 5 hypotheses, and those 5 hypotheses will be tested by mixed quantitative and qualitative methodology. And here is the quantitative. In a nutshell, we have the dependent variables will be GDP growth rate, indicator of economic expansion. And the independent variables, we have fintech adoption rate, which is the percentage of financial transaction using digital banking fintech solution. And also the education and human capital investment. We will see the percentage of GDP allocated to fintech education and skill development, and foreign direct investment FDI in fintech, like fintech startup and infrastructures. And finally, the financial inclusion index, which is the percentage of population with access to fintech-based financial services. And this is the model equations. We have multiple regression we will use for that. Data source, we will have used the World Bank, IMF economic indicators, UAE Central Bank Ministry of Economy reports, Global Fintech Adoption Index, Statista, and CB Insight, Fintech News, and also we have some the expected outcome that this is based in the literature will be a positive relationship or relationship between fintech adoption and economic growth. We have also some qualitative analysis. We use case studies. We use like expert interview. We will have some survey for the faculty. We have survey for the deans. We have survey for the professionals. And also we have some interviews with regulators and from the DIFC and ADGM Digital Lab and Dubai Pay and Smart Government Initiatives. This is all the issues. I think I will stop here because still in the process, the paper I have shared some case study, but the time is limited. I cannot go through this, the policy recommendation. So I stop here. And again, I will repeat my call. Anybody would like to join me in this paper, he is more than welcome. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Joma. And if I look at the watch, it is 6:18. So we are just 3 minutes late now. But I think it was very interesting session, and we had very good papers. And I hope that our this research and exploration journey will continue. Tomorrow will be another productive day, and there will be a lot of presentations tomorrow. But today it's like the last session. So I would like the chair of the conference, Dr. Tahir Masood, to come here and close the day of today's proceedings. Thank you very much. And here comes Dr. Tahir.
Thank you, Professor Zafar. I'm very delighted, that one of the best things we had today is none of the presentation got missed. Everybody who was supposed to come, they attended. And there were limited seats, like 65 people, and all 65, they came in the event. Tomorrow is going to be the pretty hectic day. 36 presentations will be presented online. And I hope everybody has received the link for tomorrow's session. We are going to begin at 9, and we will be closing by 4, but there will be multiple sessions. Parallel 2-3 sessions will be going on. So in case if some of you are going to do presentation tomorrow and you don't see your name there, please let us know. It can be adjusted at 11th hour. Thank you very much once again. And as Rock just came in, I would like to request him to come on the podium and say a few words. And one announcement that the Best Paper Award will be announced tomorrow after the last session. So we decided to announce in the beginning, but Rock said, no, let's keep it secret till the end. So that is the only reason. If you want to meet him outside, you can ask him, like who is the guy getting Best Paper Award. Rock, please come on the podium, say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Tahir. Actually, I don't want to take much of your time. It was a very long day, but it was interesting, the purpose of keeping it till the end. And I'm sorry, I was just washing my face. So that's why we were supposed to come. I didn't know that it was coming very soon. Just to be quick, very interesting sessions. I would like to thank the chair, the participant, the authors, all of you. You had very interesting, the valuable comment of that. The idea of not just because we have tomorrow full day of sessions. So common sense to leave the Best Paper Awards for tomorrow. It will be definitely disseminated to all of you through our database. Would like to thank you very much. To be honest with you, the feedback was great. The selective limited number that you constitute and the engagement here were one of the top notch. I've been 30 plus years, 17 years as a dean, academia, everything. That's one of the best that I've seen, quality, productive, top minds, people of this, well engaging. Most conferences we go and you are all expert in that. It becomes more just networking and we leave. Here, no, we learned a lot. And this is thanks to you, to each one of you. The team has done a great job. Thank you, Tahir and the whole team that Miraj, everybody was like doing great job. Everybody, all of you, we were one hand, one team. And that's what made it good. The vibes, the spirit, that kind of deans coming from different countries. I would like to thank you, each and every one of you. Enough for the day. Tomorrow we'll continue. Spread proceedings like we just mentioned to them. It will be the proceedings to all of you. Thank you very, very much for all the thoughts, the passion, and let's call it a day. Thank you very much. And this is approved for you. Thank you.
Okay, Wasim, we are signing off. Anything?
Okay, Dr. Miraj, thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Have a nice time. Have a nice rest because
Thank
tomorrow
you.
is going to be another.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Ismail. Thank you.